I don't know how Kendall does it, but anything she puts on, sunglasses, sold out. Ugly sandal, sold out. $2 boy tank, sold out. But for the first time ever, her magic didn't work when Gucci appointed her as a face of the brand. Honestly, I don't think it's Kendall because Gucci has been a tough gig.
Shares of Gucci owner Kering tumbling in France right now.
Kind of out of fashion for a while, so there's a new management in place there as well, a new CEO, a new creative director at Gucci.
Actually, they've already had 3 creative directors and 4 CEOs in 2 to 3 years, and things still aren't getting any better. At this rate, even 1,000 candles won't move the needle. So I started digging into what's actually going on here. The deeper I went, the stranger things started to look. And you know what it looks like? It looks like someone inside the group has been secretly sabotaging Gucci. And let's start with Gucci's parent company, Kering. A luxury group that owns brands like Saint Laurent, Balenciaga, Bottega Veneta, and employs more than 43,000 people. But for a very long time, one man generated more money for the entire group than anyone else. No, it's not any of the CEOs. That man was Alessandro Michele.
Since becoming creative director of Gucci, Alessandro has disrupted what had become a rather bourgeois house.
It's really about that kind of contradiction between the past and the future.
Aggiungo solo un elemento, come nella chimica, esplode. Hai capito?
It's time for this brand to tell another story.
Under his creative direction, Gucci became a cultural phenomenon.
In the years that followed the nomination of Alessandro Michele as creative director at Gucci in 2015, the label did really well. They kept putting out hit products.
And because of that, their sales very soon doubled and almost tripled before he suddenly left in 2022. People were blaming him for Gucci's brand fatigue and pushing the brand too far into fashion.
Finding that right balance in the fashion industry to stay on top and yet have your products be fresh, it's very difficult to hit and it's very difficult to maintain over the long term.
In fashion, for instance, you're relying on trends, whereas in luxury, you rely on timeless, on heritage products that basically stand the test of time.
Hang on, fashion also helped them grow faster than anyone else in luxury. Obviously, it can't keep growing forever. I can't believe they made it sound like it's the designer's fault. It can't be. Let's play it out logically. If his designs were mediocre, he would be replaced much sooner. But if his designs were popular, management would still sell as much as they could until there is a trend fatigue. He would still need to leave. If either way gets us to the same outcome, then clearly the problem is not the designer. It's right there.
And the mistake was that basically they created many variations of these products. They were overexposed somehow.
And 6 months later, the CEO stepped down. But guess what? Things got a lot worse. Because they keep changing the designers and creative directions, the brand is now suffering from a very deep identity crisis.
Conversation around Kering is always about the turnaround at Gucci. Is it happening? Is it going well? Seems like they're just continuing to struggle.
And I'm starting to suspect Gucci's problem is likely to be beyond Gucci. To test this idea, I decided to target a completely different angle, the Kendall angle. Her Gucci campaigns were criticized for being fake and unreal. But bad publicity is still some publicity. It just didn't translate into sales, and that's the main problem. And yes, I know a lot of people would say digital influence is not the same today. The Kardashians' Instagram dominance, it has been broken by TikTok's quote-unquote algorithmic everyone model. The days where they could charge $1 million per post were long gone. The biggest change from this model is how it distributes attention. Essentially, it gives long-tail creators more opportunity to be seen. And that's why the Kardashians were so pissed initially about Instagram copying TikTok. But that just means other people's posts on what Kendall wears will get more attention than what she posts on Instagram. Her fashion influence is not gone, it's just coming through in a different way. If anything, how they used her is more questionable. Remember the other brand that they have? Yes, that brand. Kendall actually likes and wears this brand, like a lot. And that unofficial 2024 campaign that they did together, loved it. People loved it. It feels real, effortless, authentic, exactly what people are looking for. But between better long-term fit and instant short-term fix, the group chose to use her for the latter. What a waste of Kendall. It didn't fix their problems, and it's just becoming really hard for me to ignore how stupid the decisions are, but I should still give them the benefit of the doubt. So let's first find out what's going on inside Kering. Now, Kering's portfolio is simpler than this. The group just makes most of their money from Gucci. A little bit here and then there from other brands, but Gucci is pretty much the group's only lifeline. That was 2019, but it has been a problem for Kering for a very long time. They got so lucky here. Some of their other brands were picking up great tractions, just in time to help them reduce their Gucci dependence. So they had a really great hand. Damn, they know how to ruin a good hand. Instead of patiently growing their other brands, they borrowed a ton of money, bought a fragrance company, initiated a stake in Valentino, and snapped up some expensive properties. With that much debt and burden, any hiccup at Gucci would be too much. And don't forget, Gucci has been growing like a weed for more than 5 years. The probability of a trend fatigue can't be that low, bro. So guess what happened to whatever they bought?
They sold their beauty division to L'Oreal for 4 billion euros. There was some real estate disposal as well.
Clearly, the group has a terrifying taste for capital allocation. And the person behind all these was... Francois is the founder of Kering, also the best performing CEO in the world. Fine, he did turn his dad's timber business into a luxury group, but his brand approach is highly questionable. After I spent some time looking into what he has done for the group, a lot of the brands that he bought didn't work out and got sold again. But technically, Francois doesn't need to be a luxury expert because he can just hire one. And we know that Kering does have great CEOs and creative talents. But something smells fishy when I was looking into their leadership structure. In the last couple of years, most of the CEOs either have left or been shifted around. It looks really strange. Why is everyone suddenly all leaving at the same time? Why? So I did another round of digging, went through all sort of different type of documents that they have on their website, and finally landed on this massive filing. Holy, Francois got paid 9 million euros in 2022 for that 1 year. That's how much. That's... Unfortunately, I couldn't find any other CEO's annual paycheck, but I did find something else. Dun 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 dun. According to this filing, 70 to 80% of the CEO's pay are based on financial performance. For comparison's sake, I pulled out LVMH, their incentive structure. The CEOs are incentivized 50% based on financials, 35% based on strategy and management related targets, 15% based on ESG related targets. They didn't specify what those targets were, but when I looked into how Bernard Arnault paid himself for that year, the number one strategic target that he had for himself was brand image and desirability, and that's something that's missing in Kering's matrix. It may not look like there's anything wrong with focusing on financial outcomes, but incentives drive outcomes. And that's probably why they keep picking short-term fixes over long-term solutions. As long as they can hit their target this year, doesn't matter if we hurt the brand down the track, because they'll probably be gone by then. Hang on. Everything that's not working at Gucci seems to be working exceptionally well at Miu Miu. Miu Miu is essentially playing the same cards as Gucci. Fashion trends, aspirational customers, even the same face at one point, but completely different results. The gap between Miu Miu and the rest of the luxury market is unreal. And this happened at a time when everyone else has been struggling. Like, do they know something? What has Miu Miu figured out that others haven't yet?